Okay, I'm getting ready to put the transmission in. The torque converter's in it, but I'm not doing the flywheel, the starter, or the plate that goes on the back here. I'm worried that the engine's gonna have to be at this angle in order for the transmission to clear the opening there. And that will be no good. If it has to be at that angle, then the drive shaft, the tail shaft angle is not gonna be right. So I just wanna get it in here and see what I'm dealing with. Just gonna focus on the top two first. These two up here. And I've already got those in the bell housing. Should be fairly easy since I'm not mating the torque converter, but yeah. It always seems like it should be easy. What it ends up being. Probably be a lot better if I wasn't trying to slide the jack sideways on the wheels. Oh, there goes the transmission. This ain't gonna be no fun at all. No fun at all. Man, this is barely hanging on there. Sucker's really trying to come off of there. Come on now. Work with me. A little bit higher. Oh no. Oh no. Man, this sucker really wants to come off of the jack. I don't think this could be any harder. Well, yeah, it could be harder. Ooh, yep, that was it right there. Okay, I'm gonna go start those two bolts. All right, 4 bolts, that's good. I'm gonna move the jack stand take it from under the engine and put it under the tail shaft. I don't really care for that angle. I'm actually gonna let some air out of the suspension, so I'm gonna drop this back down. Okay. It's good. It just hit right there. Is showing 6.8 degrees tilted down. Okay, 6.5 degrees. Wow, I think it's gonna work. They always say within 3 degrees. So, yeah. Could I get lucky 3 times in one day? Nope. So that's gonna need fab. I need it to be right here. But you know though, I probably could just make a plate or something. Excited about that gap right there. What's up with that? Must just be because of this portion right here is hitting because it sits back. This is recessed inward farther than this here. Should I grind that? I can get a nice bead right there though. Yeah, I'll accept that. And get a nice bead right inside of there. That's that bottom one there. This is all really overkill. I'm just trying to make this all one. I don't like the way that the support hangs back so far towards the back of the transmission. So I'm just doing everything I can think of to really lock it, make it one. No. Yep, I'm gonna grind away at this one, clean it up, get it level again. This is what I ended up with. I got the holes drilled in it. Two 3/8 and 1/2 or 7/16. So this is a 7/16 and these are 3/8. So all right, I think it's gonna work. I'm gonna get under there and do a test fit. I still, because the engine and the transmission sit over to the passenger side, I need to move this mounting hole, and it has this reinforcement underneath there. I'm gonna do the same thing, even though I probably don't have to. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna drill a hole through there because there's no way I'm gonna squeeze this with this one still being there. So I'll just have to, it'll end up over here, right here instead of here, just an inch over. This should be the final fitment. The only thing left to do with this cross member or transmission support, I'm not sure, I think I always called it a transmission cross member. But for some reason it feels wrong now. Have things changed? I don't know whether to tighten the transmission mount. I'm going to. If it doesn't line up right, then I know it's because of these. As long as everything fits right, the only thing left to do is paint this. Let's get all the bolts started. Like that. I don't use that little impact for automotive stuff very often, so I don't really know what its torque is like. So I just wanted to feel it for myself. That's tough. Oh yeah, okay. That is solid. Solid, solid, solid. Cool, 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 cool. Nice. Oh man, it's sitting so nice on there. It's so good. And then these are kind of redundant right here. I'm just putting bolts through here. I mean, it's all welded anyways, but why not? I was in the hardware section. Yes, man, I'm so happy to get this done. Take on a project like this, there's just certain things you're just like, man, it'll probably work. I hope it works. I wonder how hard it's gonna be. And things like this that are so important to get right. I really do plan on keeping this van for the rest of my life. And I want to be able to take any trip in it. I'm going to use this old mount from the van. That rubber's in good shape, and the one that I bought, the brand new one, was like half the quality of this one. So I'm just going to use that one. I'll paint it. There's not a single crack in the rubber anywhere or nothing. .82, 83.1. Just jumped to 83.2. Now if we go back, .84. .84.1. 84.1. And that's with it shoved all the way into the transmission. So, that much. Prefer it to be out more like that much. So we're talking .3 3/4. All right, I got this paper on here. This is the exact amount that I'm cutting out. It's 3 3/4. inches. And I've checked my saw. I've got a brand new blade on here, and it's the thinnest blade that I have. I made sure the blade is square to the fence. I've got 3 lines. I put 3 scores with a hacksaw going down the drive shaft, so that will keep me clocked this way, so I know that I'm not messing with the phase of the U-joints. So when I go to bring this back together, I can line. I've got 3 lines and I've colored them. I've colored one blue, one green, and one red, so there's no mixing up the 3 lines. And they're not all, they're just random. So there should only be one way this thing can go back together, by lining up those lines. I think all the bases are covered. It's time to start cutting. I used this angle iron to put the lines on the drive shaft, so I used a C-clamp, clamped this. I thought about maybe spot welding this to the drive shaft and then keeping it on there, making the cuts, and then just lining the angle iron back up. But I'm gonna sleeve it. I'm gonna find some way to sleeve that on the inside. So I don't think that's an issue, because there's only gonna be one way that sleeve, if the drive shaft isn't straight, then it won't go over the sleeve. So I think that's gonna save me as far as straightness, rather than mess around with this. But what I did was C-clamped this to the drive shaft and then put my lines, use this as a straight edge, put my lines on there. Sitting on this. All right, what I did was just slice that remnant, that 4-inch piece. I just sliced it down the side and then squeezed it and got it inside of there. I'm not gonna use that as a sleeve. I just want to do a little test here and make sure that my length ended up good. It's a little shorter than what I had hoped, to be honest, but it is up in the air right now. The front of the van is up. This is what I got. So I drilled some holes and they're all equal. These are 90 degrees from each other. This cut isn't perfectly straight. I don't care about that. I'm sleeving it. I've got these marks. I believe I showed you all this last time when I cut it last weekend. I had a sleeve made. This is 3 inches wide. And they had to use some pretty thick steel and then turn it down. And I'm almost embarrassed to say this cost me $150 for this. And it was all labor. There's like probably $10 worth of steel there, and the rest is all labor. They had to keep turning it on the lathe to get it down to the right size to fit inside of this. They put a flat spot on it for me right here. Can you see this? So that lines up with the seam inside of here. Can you see that? Maybe, maybe not. Anyways, there's a seam going all the way down the side of the entire drive shaft where they welded the tube. So that relief there is to line up with that seam. And same thing on here. So I'm going to line it all up. get it put together. I have not actually forced this sleeve in yet. I wanted to make sure I got everything done. I filed here, I ground around the outside. I'm going to leave a gap in the middle to fill, to get good penetration on this sleeve. Oh yeah, that's so nice. Those are my marks. I'm halfway in. Find my green line. Got my green line. Gotta line that seam up. There I am. That's about how much gap I'm gonna leave there. About like that. It's already straight. Yeah, I think it's pretty much impossible for it to be crooked with that sleeve in there. As tight as that sleeve is, since it was custom made for the tube. I've got an 1.5 inch worth of sleeve into the tube, so there ain't no moving that. All right, I got it ground down. I believe it's pretty straight. Got a weight over here on the right over here. I wish it wasn't there. I have to try to keep it riding on the angle brace without hitting that. Yeah, I'm happy. You see, I ground away at it pretty good. I just didn't want I didn't want it to look like it was a fabricated drive shaft. When I paint it, you won't see it. It'll hold. We're talking 150 horsepower here, max. I'm hoping I can get to 150.